and you'll see a boy on the blue wall. He has a mask on and he's pointing a rifle at you now. It's a painting, don't forget. See him away off to the right over there? See? He's known as the Shankill Mona Lisa. And everyone in the estate, everyone in this place knows what the Mona Lisa does.
These are the very first ones that was ever put up in the province of King William, Prince of Orange. King William there on the white horse was a Protestant leader, and he defeated King James in 1690 at the Battle of the Boyne. That is why we have orange men here which walk all over the province to commemorate the Battle of the Boyne, the Great Orange Marches. Some of the parades that we have here are controversial ones, where Catholics do not want them walking near their places where they live. This is where we have fighting. There has been trouble over the last few years by dissident Republicans who are not happy about the peace process, so they will use the parades to try and stir up the trouble here in the province. Protestants and the Orange Order have been walking their traditional routes for hundreds of years, and they believe that they have the right to walk the Queen's Highway because this here land is still British land. The majority of people living here are the Protestant people, which wish to remain part of the United Kingdom. See away in the distance over there, you'll see a dark grey building with wee small windows. That is what is known as the Crumlin Road Prison. It was also the gallows where all the hanging was done, right through till September 1942. The last IRA man to go to the gallows was Tom Williams at age 19 for his part in the murder of a police officer. But the whole way through the conflict here, it was a remand prison. Anyone that was caught on terrorist offences, bombings, shootings or gun attacks, doesn't matter what religion they were sent to that prison while awaiting trial on the creamy colour building which you see beside it, known as the Crumlin Road Courthouse. There's a tunnel that goes right underneath the ground to take you into the courthouse. Whenever the conflict was on, they didn't bring anybody out the front of that prison for the fear of being shot or apprehended by loyalist or Republican death squads, so they had to bring them underneath the ground for their own personal safety. The very first mural over there on the wall is of a fella called Stevie Top Gun McCaig. Stevie McCaig was a military commander within the UFF, the Ulster Freedom Fighters, which was one of the loyalist paramilitaries fighting the Irish Republican Army. All throughout the Irish conflict, what you've got to realise was the Irish Republican Army were fighting for a united Ireland. That was their one aim and goal, was to get a 32 county. They did not achieve that. This land here is British land, and the majority of people living here are the Protestant people which wish to remain part of the United Kingdom. Stevie got the name in here Top Gun, wasn't because he looked like Tom Cruise. He got the name Top Gun because he was a top assassin within the UFF. Any time that the Irish Republican Army came in here to launch attack on the Protestant community, Stevie would have took a gun in his hand and shot someone on the other side of the peace wall, such as shooting members of Sinn Féin, Catholics or IRA activists at that time. The mural over there with the children on it was actually done by children, and it was put up on the wall on boards. It's about the children that live in this area of the Shankill. They have the right to grow up in a more peaceful environment instead of being brought up with the hatred and the bigotry of the last 35 years. Every child has the right to play. You will see them spelling out the word play, P-L-A-Y, at the top of the mural there. The church that you see on the hill signifies Shankill, which means old church. That's what it means. 1809 over there is about a famous battle called Talavera. Talavera was part of the Napoleonic Wars with the Duke of Wellington and Napoleon. The Duke of Wellington was born in Dublin in the south of Ireland, and he came up here to Ulster to recruit Ulstermen, and they went off and fought and died in that war. They were known at that time as the Royal Irish Fusiliers. The Royal Irish Fusiliers are still part of the British Army today, and they were fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq with the British forces. Over there we have a UFF gunman on it. The UFF is the military end of the UDA, the Ulster Defence Association, formed in 1972 to defend the people of this province against Republican attacks. Out of the UDA emerged the Ulster Freedom Fighters. See that gunman over there?
They just squeezed through there, guys.
That gunman over there, it doesn't matter where you're standing in here. If you're walking over there or over there and you're looking right at that gunman, he will always be pointing the gun right at you. It's the way that it's painted, it follows you, so it does. It's keeping an eye on things around here, so keep your head down. It's alright, there's a ceasefire. Beyond that red brick building over there, if you want to walk across where them people are walking, and you'll see the famous boat race. It's just on the other side of the church. It's a way back in the days of the Vikings. You will see a Viking king on one ship racing for the land, and the son believed to be in the other racing for it. The first hand to touch down on the soil will declare the land. One of the Vikings is away out in front. The other one knew that he wasn't going to win it, so he cuts off his hand and he throws it on that land. That's